Today is pull day. It is a pull day workout. You want to think of pull day as your back, your traps, your biceps. All the exercises that are pulling the weight closer to your body. I'm going to include a deadlift in that, as a deadlift is like the ultimate pull exercise. It's a pull. You are pulling the weight from the floor. You're using all of the pull muscles to be able to stabilize and get the weight off the ground. So we're going to start off with the deadlift. Okay, I'm going to start with facing you here, because a couple things I don't want you to do with the deadlift. Don't be out wide. Don't be super narrow. About hip width, all right? If you want to, you can bring it in a little bit more narrow, but hip width is good, okay? We're not doing sumo deadlifts. If you are, you're standing out like this, all right, and you're pushing your knees away, and it's very much more on the inner part of the leg here. We're doing conventional deadlifts, hips, or feet about hip width apart, all right, and then going down to the bar, all right, you can see here, or maybe you can't, the bar is pretty close to my shins. It's maybe an inch away. All right, I always like to pull up, right? I get this little shrug, and then I sit back into it and pull the lats down, and I stand up, and then I return the bar back, right? As I'm pulling, okay, I'm pulling the back, standing up, and then my legs are straightening out, okay? So I'm not firing the hips and legs first. I'm standing with a push. One of the things that I like to think about is that as I'm standing up, I'm pushing my feet into the ground. It just creates this feeling as though I'm well grounded and I'm really pushing deeply into the ground. All right, so here I'm pretty close to the bar when I'm starting. I sit back into it, right? I'm crouched, my knees are bent, all right? Feels kind of like a squat position, but I'm not squatting because I'm leaning forward. I'm loading up into the hamstrings and the glutes. I shrug up, pull everything down, and then stand up. It's not firing the hips. Pushing in, squeeze down, stand. All right, again, we're not firing the hips up. All right, we're pulling everything off the ground together. Try to get used to that one fluid movement coming up. That is the deadlift. The better you can get at the technique with the deadlift in terms of thinking everything's moving together, I'm pressing into the ground, the more your technique will improve, the more you're going to be able to lift and lift correctly. All right, exercise number 2. All right, exercise number 2 is the single arm lat pull down. For this, you're going to be sitting at the lat pull down machine, or if you're using the cables, you're sitting in front of the cables. You're going to have a single arm, single handle pull down here. All right, I'm just going to tilt this back a little bit so we can see. As I'm reaching up, okay, whereas the difference between a pull down and a row is a row I'm going to have a neutral grip, and I'm going to pull straight down into my side, okay? We're doing a pull down, so what I want to do is while I'm taking the same position as I would a double arm, right, with the bar, my hand palm is facing out, and I'm actually bringing my arm down to the side in like an arcing pattern, right? So I'm pulling this way. So the difference is that this is a row where I'm pulling straight back. I'm going to hit this area here on a straight back motion, whereas a pull down, I'm hitting it from the side, right? So now it's curling inwards. All right, it doesn't quite work that way with the single arm as well as it does with the bar. So get it out of your mind that it's supposed to feel like it does with the bar. It doesn't. What it's meant to do here is just to get you a little extra pull, all right, a little extra unilateral movement to strengthen one side over the other for that pull down. All right, so the arm, if you're looking at it from the side, isn't going straight in like it would for a row. It's actually coming down like that. All right, if I were doing a row, I'd be going straight in, whereas here the elbows kind of making like a half circle. Rather than coming straight into the body, I'm going out like that. All right, I should feel like my shoulder blades are opening like this. All right, I hope that that makes sense, but that is the single arm lat pull down. We're gonna move it on now to the T-bar row. Awesome exercise. Next, we have your T-bar row. Now, I'm using a T-bar row connected with the landmine. I'll turn this just so you can see the landmine. The landmine is a simple attachment that goes onto the bottom of my rack here. And are we able to see it? Well, we're not. Okay. But it's an attachment that goes on to the bottom there. So you can see it in that corner there. But it attaches and allows the barbell to swing around with a little bit more freedom. You can also put this into a corner, or what you can do is you can just use the machine that they'll have probably at most commercial gyms. You lean against it and you're pulling. One of the cool things about the T-bar row is that it is a very narrow grip kind of row. All right, so what you don't need to do here is have big, long movements. It's just a short kind of like, think of it as like getting a pump in your back kind of a motion. The bar I'm going to use is a flat bar because I don't have a narrow grip bar, but we're going to be doing it in the same type of pattern, right? You're going to stand with the bar between the legs. All right, we're going to get into this bent over row type of position. But as you see, when I come up, I'm kind of like in between. So this adds a little bit of a compound lift element to it as I'm putting a load into my hamstring, so I'm getting that stability there. Hips, glutes, lower back, and then I'm getting the motion through the back. All right. So I'm up in my stable position, and then it's just a short pulling motion. My arms are extending forward, but I'm keeping my shoulders back. My arms just don't go back nearly as far. So if we look at it from a different angle, all right, here I am in that position. Notice that my elbows just get slightly behind, but the whole time I'm keeping my shoulders back, right? And I'm in this, like we'll call it like quarter deadlift position. All right. I prefer a narrow stance or a narrow grip on these. All right, if I'm going to do wide, I would just do a regular cable row or something along those lines, but I like the narrow grip of the T-bar. Gives me that nice just building stability, building strength, building thickness in my back. That's why we do these. Gives you that hard back look. So this is definitely more, while it's a compound lift, it definitely has some aesthetic value to it, and that's why we're doing it here, just to add a little extra, just straight up strength and mass to the back. All right, a couple more exercises. We're gonna go over to the shrug next. Okay, next up is your barbell shrug. I recommend starting with the barbell in an elevated position. You can do it with the barbell on the floor and like stand up out of a deadlift and do your shrugs that way. I mean, why make it more challenging? You should be able to handle a large amount of weight for this. Obviously, I'm not doing that here for demonstration purposes, but getting as close as you can. Again, that kind of like quarter pull, quarter deadlift position, standing straight up into it. Roll the shoulders back, and that is the only time that you're going to roll the shoulders. All right, the shrug is not a shoulder shrugging type of motion. It is a straight up, straight down situation. What I like to do is I like to tip a little bit forward so the bar comes slightly off my thigh. Okay, I don't want it to be pressed. I'm not sliding up. All right, you're liable to clip something if you do it that way. A little bit off, and then shrug it up. Straight up and straight back down. As I lean back a little bit more, it starts to build a little bit more better posture. If I do it straight up like this, I feel like I'm choking myself out. And I don't like doing that. So I lean a little bit. And it gets the traps just as well, but it also pulls the shoulders back. Again, I'm not rolling them back, but if I lean forward, the natural way for them to go is straight back in. So we'll look at it from the back here. When I'm shrugging in this position, right? A little tip forward, cores engaged, stabilized through the legs. Just pulling a little bit back. And I really feel it in through here. Not on top of the traps, then that's okay, but right back in here. This is where I want to feel it. So getting this whole little V-taper area is going to be great for the shrugs. All right, a couple more exercises. I'm going to keep it right here because next we're going to do a barbell curl. And the barbell curl, so there's a bunch of different variations of bars, obviously, but we're going to use the straight barbell curl. So when we do this, what I like to do is I like to turn my palms out. Whatever position my hands land in, that's the position I want to grab the bar at, because this is giving me the most neutral form of grip for my curls. If I try to squeeze in too much, I can start to feel that in the shoulder. It's adding more tension to the shoulders and the bicep tendon than I want to add. Here, I get almost a neutral grip, but it's a more natural way for me to curl. If I'm using a easy bar that has that inside grip where it turns and my hands are like this, that's different. But here on the barbell, I walk up and I find my grip. All right, this is where I feel most normal. All right, again, roll this back. All right, and then, so hit anything. As we're curling up, notice how I bring my hands out a little wide, the bar's right at my chest. The upper arm, right, this humerus, doesn't move. All right, I'm not swinging, I'm not pulling back. All right, it is locked into the side, and I'm pulling here. And then we come down. So it's this position, right? If you look at it from the side, my arm, my upper arm, the humerus isn't moving. I don't want it too far in front. I don't want it too far back. Directly along the side, this is a barbell curl. As you get more narrow, notice that my arms come out a little bit more forward, but we're going out wide, okay? This is gonna hit the whole bicep without causing too much irritation for the bicep tendon. Gives it a little bit more room, a little bit of room to breathe. And that's why I like it so much with that neutral grip. All right, if you want to go more narrow, use an easy bar so that it changes your grip. The more you get in close, the more your grip should change. All right, hopefully that makes sense. All right, one more exercise to go, a Zottman curl. It's a good one. Our last exercise of the day is what's called a Zottman curl, invented by a guy named Zottman. All right, so go light on this one. It's a humbling type of exercise, whereas we were just curling, 65 pounds there with the barbell curl. Obviously, I'm not going to try to curl like 30 some pounds with a dumbbell, turn my hand and lower it back down. That's what we do with the Zottman curl. And we're alternating, so up, turn, lower, up, so palm up as I bring it up, rotate it so the palm is down, and then slowly lower it back down. I like doing it alternating, because if I do it both at the same time, I lose that stability that I get in one side over another. I don't feel as strong. And for me, with elbow issues, like doing this bothers me with both arms. Why? I have no idea. I'm going to be perfectly honest. But if I do it one side at a time, where I can focus on one side at a time a little more, it's a lot more controlled. I get a better rotation and it feels pretty good. This gets the full forearm. It is a great exercise for the forearms, for the elbows, for the wrists. Great way to build up some good strength because grip strength is going to be huge for your deadlift and everything like that. Say hello to the crazy dog. All right, that is our pull day workout. And we will be back for the leg day. Have a good one.